Eva Lokko. I'm a Ghanaian citizen, 100%.
Recently, the Economic Partnership Agreement, which has been tabled for over a decade now between the EU and ACP countries, has become such a big topic in the country. And with your experience from the media to politics to citizen engagement, we want to know what is your opinion on the Economic Partnership Agreement, and whether you believe it will be a good idea for the government to go ahead and sign it.
Well, this is my personal view. I sincerely believe that it is not about signing or not signing. It's all about timing and readiness. If you are not ready, you don't have systems in place, you don't have infrastructure in place, you don't have policies in place. If you sign this agreement, you will be overrun because there are standards to be met in selling anything, services, products, food, name it. You can itemize all of it. There are standards, there are requirements. For instance, packaging. For instance, the content of the actual product, even if you process it and it's not raw material, how it's going to be preserved. All these things, there are standards, there are requirements, there are protocols, and so on. If you don't have them in place, and others already do, you can't compete. So yes, the door is open, but you can't come through because you don't qualify to come through in terms of quality, timeliness, even sometimes size, even sometimes color, you see. So for me, you sign when you're ready or when you've put enough in place so that you know that within a certain period of time you'll be able to compete, on the same footing with everybody else. Then it is a good deal. Now, if you are not ready and you sign it, of course, then you are putting yourself in trouble because people will come with better goods. Nobody wants to spend their money on inferior goods. If we don't have enough, and even the little that we have doesn't have that quality, every human being prefers quality. Okay? So for me, it's about timing and readiness. We don't have to run and sign. Nobody should give us a timeline to sign or not to sign. It should be an open door. When you are ready, you join. That's how I see it. If I'm ready, there's this policy. When I'm ready to compete, I will join. And because I'm not ready, I'm going to make sure that I put everything in place because I really do want to join. That's how I look at it. I can't look at it any other way, like sign it and somebody benefits and others don't sign it, others benefit, others don't. What are the percentages? If you have good business coming your way and there are a lot of Ghanaians benefiting from it, who will say no? But if you have a situation where if you sign today, maybe 50% or more of Ghanaians will not benefit. If you are ready and you sign tomorrow, maybe 90% of Ghanaians will benefit. Which one is better? So I sincerely don't think that we are tabling the right argument. I think it should be based on our readiness in terms of what we have on the ground, what we have planned in the short term, which means that maybe in 5 years' time or so, will be as good as the goods that are coming into our country. Or we say, look, it will take us 10 years. So in that agreement, we tell you in 10 years' time, when we are ready with A, B, C, D, that is part of your requirements as well, we will come and sign. It shouldn't be forced. I don't believe in a deadline. I sincerely don't believe in a deadline because you're being forced to do something, and in the rush and in the anxiety, you may overlook certain things. Anybody who signs a contract knows that you need time off. You need to take the document with you, sit somewhere, look at it, discuss it, check all the small prints and everything, feel satisfied with it, make sure that it is mutually beneficial when you sign, not 10 years after you sign, but when you sign. That is how you sign contracts. You do not sign a contract because somebody is saying it has to be finished tomorrow. you have to dictate as well or come to a mutual agreement as to when it is proper to sign. And that should be based on readiness. And also the percentages. How many people are going to benefit now? How much of the population is going to benefit? If we don't look at it this way, we will always have those who will say sign and those who will say do not sign. Both sides, there are advantages and disadvantages. In the signing one, if we are following the deadline, the advantages outweigh, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. So if I am asked to advise, I'll say hold on, make sure you've cleaned your house and everything is in order. Look at the T's and the I's, cross the T's, dot the I's, and then sign. Nothing else, will be good enough. That's what I think.
Thank you, madam. But recently, the government has made a point that within the African region, it appears there's not enough collaboration to trade. Nigeria was recently pointed out by the president, that's President Mahama, that they had protectionist policies. I want to know if the government is to look for alternatives to the EPA in terms of trade, and we are having within the sub-region protectionism is there. What way can you see a way around it as to alternatives if within the sub-region itself we are really not walking the talk in terms of trade liberalization?
But you see, I always say that find out why. If you don't know the why, you can complain, you can attack, you can accuse. It won't get you what you want. First, we have to find out if they are protecting something. Why are they doing it? What exactly are they protecting? Are we also doing the same? Because sometimes you don't know what is going on in our country. Because, we're also a sizable country, even though comparatively we are small, So we need to do our homework, do our research at home, do our research on the countries that we feel are pushing protectionism, okay? And then there's always dialogue. As they say, Rome was not built in a day. We've never really been strong in trading with each other. So if we want to start now, we shouldn't expect it to be just like that. There will be obstacles. How do we remove these? Why are they there in the first place? How can we remove them and then continue a relationship which is mutually beneficial? I think some work needs to be done. We cannot rush Nigeria or any other country to overnight be a good trade partner, because for centuries after we stopped dealing with ourselves and colonialism came and went, we have not really made serious attempts, to trade properly. We have documents, we have agreements, but who is following them? Our borders, I can't get up and go just like that. It's very difficult to get documentation in your own country, let alone in another country. So there are things that we need to look at, and we have to look at them objectively. If we look at them subjectively, we will give up. We'll just throw in the towel, and nothing much will be done, and we'll be trying to look elsewhere. And you see, I don't even think we should restrict ourselves to even Africa. We should have the opportunity to trade with anybody, anywhere, anytime we want. I think that is fair. If you want to come to certain agreements, there's nothing wrong with the agreement, but it shouldn't tie you to anybody. Because if you tie yourself to a group of countries or a particular country, it means that the rest of the world is close to you, or you have more difficulties there. We talk about the global village now. Why do we want to build islands? When we went out opening everything, now that we are getting to a point where we should open out even more, we are trying to group ourselves again. It hasn't helped. It's not going to help. Everybody will always push their own agenda. It is better to protect yourself if you can move freely, which is to trade with whoever, to talk with whoever. And partnerships, you sign agreements, they have periods, they go, no pressure. That is what we should be aiming at. So we should not ignore anybody. There will be obstacles. We should look at it, do our research, and find solutions to it.
Okay. Yeah. Madam, you are also well known for your work with the youth glad if you could just give a message to young people out there who look up to you, and what you think they should do or should not do.
Well, I like the should do. You see, I think that I would like to see the Ghanaian youth coming together as team players, you know, as a force. I call them GYM, the Ghana Youth Movement. You know, in GYM, you know, you exercise and so on. So it's also a very good acronym. You have to start liking each other. You have to start trusting each other. You have to start working together, especially with this huge unemployment. The last figure I saw from, I think, the trade union is 250,000 a year unemployed youth. That's too huge. Come together. You have entrepreneurs among you. Help each other to start a business. You will have all the expertise that you need in any given business that you want to set together. And please don't throw your hands up and say we can't find the money. Okay? I think Nkulinu started with 2 jam jars. You can also do the same. You have so much potential. You're actually the third pillar after government and the existing private sector for job creation. So come together, get all the support that you can get from friends, from family, from government, from external sources. Start doing something on your own. It doesn't mean that there shouldn't be job seekers among you. But if you, the entrepreneur, start setting up businesses, you can employ your peers. And therefore, the job seekers will also get jobs. So this is my message to you. And I love you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Madam.